Hello, 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 you guys. And we are back for another featured Black businesswoman. And today I'm extremely excited to introduce you to someone who I think is just going to blow your mind on some things. So, from healthcare professional to food entrepreneur, Noushky Fabius took a leap of faith that transformed her passion into a business. After leaving a high stress job as an echocardiologist, she found herself at a crossroads, one that led to her straight to the food industry. Now, with a love for cooking and a deep appreciation for Caribbean flavors, she's launched Pretty Pâté, a company introducing West Indian cuisine to new audiences through strategic branding and high quality products. Today, she's making waves in the culinary world by positioning Caribbean patties as a household favorite, not just a regional delicacy. So, in this interview, Noushky is going to share how she's overcome obstacles, found her inspiration in her heritage, and built a business that prioritizes both passion and balance. So, without further ado, hello, Noushky.
Hi, Cami. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm so
Oh,
happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
well, thank you for taking your time out to be a part of this. And thank you for allowing us to highlight you on our platform. So let's jump right in. My first question to you is, what inspired you to start Pretty Pâté? And what was the defining moment that solidified your decision to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I feel like desperation is sometimes the motivation. And before this, I was an echocardiologist. I'm still licensed. However, I haven't practiced in a year. And due to just dealing with like a toxic workplace and just feeling like I was always prioritizing other people,
Mhm.
I quit. And when I quit, I was just having this kind of existential crisis where I was like, who am I? Because I was taught from like an immigration family, your job is your identity. And
Yes.
if you don't do well in your job, you're a failure. So I was dealing with that conflict for a month. And one of my friends actually like started the idea of like, you cook, right? And you love to cook. Why don't you do it? And at first I was like, I don't know. Because when you think about cooks and stuff, especially in the Caribbean household, you're just like, oh, the chef and working and stuff. I don't know, maybe I need to be licensed. But then I thought one day, listen, if Trump could be the president, how come I can't be a chef? Listen, it's the reality. It's the reality.
Listen. You ain't got to be qualified to fill these positions. Listen, you ain't got to. You do it real well. Look, you don't even have to do it real well to fill these positions.
Exactly. But the reason why I'm saying that is because you can learn a lot of things. We have the
Yeah,
internet and we also have passion. And one of the things that I love about home cooked food is the passion. And I think about
absolutely.
it when it pertains to my grandmother. My grandmother didn't know how to read and write, but let me tell you something.
She could
She can
cook.
turn a hot dog to a casserole. It smells amazing.
Yes.
So from that, I was just like, Nishki, if you try it and you fail, at least you tried. But if you try and you succeed, just know that you did what you had to do.
You did what you had to do. Listen, let me say this to you. I've been a chef for over 20 years. The only reason I went to school is because as a black woman, we always try to educate ourselves so that they can't tell us we can't do something. But I always give credit to my grandmothers. My grandmothers were my early culinary instructors, is what I like to tell people. I started cooking when I was 6 years old. I remember frying chicken when I was 10. So, I get it. The passion comes from, growing up in it, being immersed in it. So, whether you have formal education or not, many of us are actually excellent cooks and excellent chefs because of our upbringing and because of how we were raised. So, I get it. I get it.
Definitely. And the
Now,
thing is, if I go to medical school, how come I can't pursue cooking?
thank you. And that's exactly my next question was for you. Transitioning from the medical field to the food industry is a huge shift. What were some of the biggest mental and emotional adjustments you had to make?
A lot of things weren't in person. Due to the fact I wanted it to be an online bakery, things were based off of marketing and speaking to people online. Medicine is very in person. It's kind of like, okay, you heal the person, you communicate with the doctor. There's a hierarchy system, but
Yeah.
opposed to you owning the business, you're the top. So a lot of things that I did, it was like I was speaking to myself, like, okay, did you call this person? Did you follow up with this person? Okay, organize with this. So you're everything within that pyramid.
Yes. You not only do you own the business, you work for the business, okay?
Exactly. So there's a lot of accountability where it's like I can't blame anyone else except for myself. And then also due to the fact your name is on the paper, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you have employees. They're
Yeah.
looking for you to have the last say.
Now, developing a product is one thing, but getting people to buy it is something totally different. How did you introduce Pretty Pâté to your first customers?
For my first customer, I introduced it as something that I was passionate about. Before doing Pretty Patty, I would just post pictures about food and I'd be like, let's eat with me. And everyone would be like, oh, this is delicious and stuff. So I introduced it as that. And I
Oh,
introduced it as like me just finished baking and I looked at it and I just like broke it apart. And people were just like, what are you breaking apart? Like, how did you make it? I want some. And I was like, it's funny you say that you want some. All right, so go to prettypatty.com.
yes. I love it.
So instead of doing direct marketing, I kind of do indirect marketing because I realized that sometimes, or at least at this present time, people want to see the CEO. People want to see
Yeah.
the founder. Before, when you used to see the Sally Fields and the cupcakes and everything, people didn't care about the CEO. It was like, listen, as long as the food is fine. People want to see who you are, your lifestyle, if you're actually eating the food, the background and the quality and stuff. So I feel like what's helped me with the marketing is me having fun with it. When people
Yeah.
see that I'm having fun and they see the customers having fun with the food and eating it, they're more compelled to have it in their life.
Okay. Now, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced when launching your business and how did you overcome them?
The biggest challenge was probably introducing it to people
Mhm.
and just trying to understand what was the future of the business. Sometimes when we create a business, we're just like here and now, but then you have to think about, okay, if you do this, it may affect the future.
Yes.
I was thinking more of like the butterfly effect. I was like, oh, maybe I should do this. And I was like, wait. If you do this, then it may it may change the appearance of it.
Yes.
So that was the biggest challenge. Yeah, I think that, but then also finances. People
Okay.
don't really talk about finances. I think people say that, oh, you need to have a job and you need to have a business. But let's be real. In today's world, no job wants to hear that you have a business. And especially in medicine, it's a lot of overtime and stuff. So even though you say 9 to 5, they may call you for a 5 to 11 and stuff like that. And when it pertains to business, it's not scheduled. You
Yeah.
may have an opportunity on Saturday, you may have a call on Monday afternoon and things like that. So I can also find that as a second challenge.
Okay. Now, marketing Caribbean food beyond the Caribbean community is something that you've mastered. What was your strategy for making Pretty Patty appealing to a wide audience?
Presenting it as something that they need to have.
Okay.
I think just simply doing that because, I did my research in terms of Tiffany, Cartier, and high end brands. And I was like, what do they have that's similar?
Okay.
It's the feeling of people needing to have it and you can't get this anywhere else. And it's a high quality. So whenever I market Pretty Patty, I don't only market it in just like, okay, this is the empanada, this is the Caribbean patty. I think about the packaging, I think about the wrapping, I think about the color of the patty. There are people where it's like whatever, but me, I'm like, it has to be a perfect yellow. It has to be
Yes.
delicious. I want when people see this, it's just like, I want it. Let me slice it in half so you can see the inside, see everything's texturized. So just as you have to sell the product, you also have to sell the experience. Like, how does the person feel when they get it, they eat it, and then also after?
Yes. You're making me hungry. You're making me hungry. Um,
Accomplished.
listen, you about to make me come to Pennsylvania before I go to Vietnam just to get a Pretty Patty, okay?
Listen, I got you.
Now your Haitian heritage plays a significant role in your business.
Yes.
How have how has your cultural roots influenced your approach to food and entrepreneurship?
Whew. Well, I can say that my grandparents definitely entrepreneur skills. My grandfather was a farmer,
Mhm.
and my grandmother was a merchant. So I can say like their hustle and drive was definitely inspirational because every time I hear a story about my grandfather, I'm just like, was this real? How come they told me these stories after he passed? But one of the fun facts that I found out during his funeral is that he snuck from Haiti to America through a boat. And he just hustled his way doing dishwashing and everything to make sure all his 7 kids came. And I find that very inspirational because who would think that a family full of doctors, engineers, and drivers would come from just a farmer and a merchant? Now,
Listen, he snuck over here and he fought so that y'all could come from a farmer and a merchant. Okay.
exactly. And then speaking about my grandmother, like I said before, she didn't know how to read and write. However, she spoke. Every time she spoke, it was almost like politics. Everyone nicknamed her politician. So it was very interesting seeing that dynamic and then also how humble they were with me. After I came from school and I watched TV, turn off the TV. We're going to go outside. We're going to break some peas. We're going to split it. We're going to take some lime and wash it. Okay, taste the marinade. Does the marinade taste good? Okay, help me with this. These are the things that grounded me, but taught me the importance of simple things. When people think about food, they're just thinking about macaroni and cheese, make it cheesy. Opposed to me, I'm like paprika, Gouda,
Yeah.
cheddar cheese, garlic powder. It's like I realize every single thing has an importance to the flavor.
I was just going to say you balance flavor, not just ingredients. Yeah.
Yes. And
Now,
also understanding the quality of organic food. I'm sorry. When you come from that, it's like I can easily taste a tomato and be like, ooh, it's not.
that
I
was
prefer
grown,
the
like
organic.
that was mass grown, or it was grown in a lab, as opposed to it actually coming out of the ground, and you can actually taste that flavor. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, many entrepreneurs struggle with burnout. How do you maintain a healthy balance between running your business and taking care of yourself?
I haven't mastered it yet. And the reason why it's because I'm still in the building up stage. And when you're building up, you realize that there is a lot of things that are time sensitive. You don't want, for example, if I have a whole bunch of sales, I don't want it to be a dead time. I want it to be the time where I'm advertising, I'm doing things, and I'm also speaking to people. So I'm still dealing with the balancing part because it's easy to say balance when you're when you have a lot of people around you, but currently it's just me, and then also I just have like a few employees, but at the end of the day it's like I always want to be 100%.
Hmm.
So that's something that I need to fix within myself, but it's hard because it's like when you're the person that signs their name in everything,
Hmm.
you tend to think about everything at all times. So there's times where I'm like working out and I'm just like, oh, Pretty Patty, Valentine's edition. What should I do? Red, green, da, 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 da. And it's just like your employees are not thinking that. Your employees are just going away with their life, but you're always thinking about doing something better. So that's something that
Yeah.
I need to work on myself. But then I also say that it doesn't help coming from an over functional family. I came
Listen,
from a family where they were tired and they still worked.
I think, and I'm going to be honest, it doesn't help being a Black woman in America because it always feels like you have to strive and go one step further in your cause. Even if you own the business, it always feels like you have to push and do this and think
Yes.
outside the box even more. So I get it. Yes.
Yes.
Now, what's one lesson you've learned about business that no one prepared you for?
The one lesson that hmm, I can say about racism.
Okay.
People people say that we're in a new day, a new year, but a lot of times when people see you, they have some type of presumption about you.
Hmm.
And there's been times in which I've just introduced a product, let alone just like divided it from myself, just like go away from the table and stuff. And I would just watch people just exclaim, "Oh my God, this is amazing," and stuff. And then I'm like, "Hey, I'm the founder." And they're like, "Oh, you? You're the founder?" And it's like they do that weird thing where it's like they say it's no offense, but it's like, no, by you saying no offense, that means that you're offending me.
I was just going to say, whatever comes after no offense is always going to be offensive.
Yeah. So I've had to do that weird questioning where it's like, you did this business? How did you think about it? Oh, you're an echocardiologist? Wow. And it's like, oh, and this is happening to me in business levels where people see me on social media and they see the fun aspect, but then when they see me and I'm talking about technicals, profits, case studies, they look at me and they're just like, oh, you're different. And I'm like, why are you making it seem as if because I'm willing to know something, I'm different?
What makes you different?
You see what I'm saying? It's that passive aggression that people do. And it's like, it sneaks into the business and they say no, but I'm like, you wouldn't say that to someone that didn't look like me.
Yes, that's true. Now, as a Black woman entrepreneur, what are some of the barriers that you've had to push through in order to grow your business?
I would probably say like different wording.
Okay.
Like when it pertains to marketing, understanding that not everyone understands lingo, applying to different families and different demographics. I can say that that's something that's interesting because due to the fact I'm from New York, when we say patties, people automatically think about Jamaican patties, Guyanese patties and stuff, but there are a lot of people that haven't experienced patties. So there's times where I'm like, okay, it's patties, aka empanadas, and people are like, okay, but then there's another demographic where it's like, I haven't had both, and I'm like, okay, meat turnovers, and they're like, and I'm like Caribbean hot pockets, and they're like, tell me more. So I find myself always trying to play with words and stuff because you think people experienced it, and it's like, no.
The way you just went through the whole room, all of the different types of patties and just landed on meat turnover. It's like, let me give you the most basic explanation of what this is. It's a meat fried pie, okay? Like, come on.
Listen, you think everyone knows something until they say, like, listen, I don't know. I haven't had a Jamaican patty. I haven't had an empanada. And you're like, oh, but I'm not going to lose this sale. So I don't care if we have to get a board and I need to open it.
Let me show you. Let me pull up Google so I can show you what it looks like, okay?
It's a fried crispy sandwich.
Okay? It's a sandwich that's been fried in dough. That's what it is, yes. All right? Now, the back end work of running a business is often overlooked, especially, and that's a common stereotype amongst Black businesses. What were some of the unexpected responsibilities that you had to figure
out? Packaging. Okay. Packaging and also licensing, like when it pertains to serve safe, making sure that I'm certified by NRA, meaning like I'm able to manage a facility, reading time and temperatures of meat and stuff, also qualities. I can tell the difference between a 90% fat meat versus 80%, things of that sort. But I can say the hardest part is the packaging, making sure things are cooled, understanding the difference between different insulation methods. What's the difference between dry ice versus using metallic? Making sure that when a person freezes it, it doesn't like break apart. So there's a science to a lot of things in the back end. And also when it pertains to inventory and also an online business, you have to think about how will the movement be in the package. So when USPS and FedEx takes this box, will it be the same when the person receives it? Because this could look good in the packaging. It may come to the person dirty, the patties may be smashed and things like that. So when it pertains to the back end, I'm thinking about like, okay, this is how it looks when it's here. How will the person see it towards the end? And also the things that people are not thinking about, how to make sure that I ensure the safety, that I keep it cold, that I keep the dimensions right when someone opens it, or just in case a kid opens it. They won't choke and do things. So I'm always thinking about every single aspect.
Okay. Now, where do you see Pretty Pâté in the next 5 years? What's your ultimate vision for the brand? And what do you want to leave as your legacy?
I want to see it in a supermarket. I want to see it in someone's frozen aisle. I want to have a partnership with a co-packer, such as like Omaha Steakhouse and those websites of that sort. I see it in people's lifestyle. When I think about Pretty Pâté, I don't think about just me giving a product to someone. I'm giving a person happiness because I know how hard it is being a medical student, being a medical professional, and then just all the professions that I did, coming home and not having anything to eat and just being like, Lord, can there just be something in here where I could just kind of toast, go to sleep, and not having that and just being like, oh my God, I wish that I had something flavorful. So I want to be part of people's lives. In terms of the freezer aisle, I want to diversify myself. I don't want it just to be Caribbean flavors. I want it to be where it's like macaroni and cheese for kids. Maybe put something with vegetables where kids are eating it and they don't know that it's vegetables.
Okay, I like where you going with this.
I love things like that. So that's something that I'm thinking in my mind, making sure that it's not just people who know, but people who don't know. And they just taste it and it's just like, oh, this is amazing.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Listen, I live in Atlanta, where there are a lot of emerging Black-owned grocery stores. We definitely have to get you connected with some of those people because even if it's just starting out by getting your item in those frozen food sections, supporting our own kind is huge. So stick around after this and let's try to figure out a way that we can get you connected with some of these grocery stores, even if it's just on a local level right now.
Right. Right. No, I'd be happy to discuss that.
All right. My next question is, what advice would you give to young Black women who want to start a business but are afraid to take the leap?
You can do it. You're your only limit. Understand that things may reverse. People may not support you. And the people that you would never think support you will just cover you in your arms and support you. Um, you need to have a little bit of finance, a little bit of savings. Do not touch any loans until you establish yourself. It's very easy to do those 10,000, 20,000 loans. If you want to start your business, go to your local government. Do not go to someone where it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to give you $3,000 for all this packaging. No, go to your state government. It will cost less than $300. Do everything legal. I
Yes.
can say that's heavy for Black people because sometimes we do this thing where it's like, I have a good business idea, let me pursue it. And then several years later, the IRS. I've seen that with people.
Yeah.
Start legalizing everything from the start.
Love it. Noushky, I'm going to drop off the screen. I want you to tell people where to find you, how to locate you via social media and all of that, and also how to order your products. And let's just go from there. We're going to post it up on the screen. It'll be in our article about you as well, but tell them where they can find you now.
Okay, so you can find me at prettypate.com. So PrettyPate.com. And as soon as you go to the page, you're going to see order online. Now, when it pertains to social media, I'm Instagram at pretty.pate and then Twitter, the Pretty Pâté. And then if you want to follow my personal account, you can follow me on Twitter, which is not perfect, just smart.
All right, perfect. Yeah, we're gonna have to order. Listen, you guys, we getting at that stage where y'all ain't gonna want to cook because it's about to get hot outside. If you're in Atlanta, it's already 80 degrees this week after having 3 snow days a couple of weeks ago. Go ahead and place your order online. Get the Pretty Pâtés out to your house and make sure you support another Black-owned business like Noushky has. Listen, y'all, her name is Noushky Fabius, And I swear throughout this whole entire interview, and I told her this prior, I said, I just want to say Noushky is fabulous. That's all. But now you have proven just how fabulous you really are. So thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you for sharing your business with us. And thank you so much for being a part of this platform.
Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to updating you pertaining to the growth of Pretty Pâté.
And we're gonna be looking forward. We're definitely gonna be looking forward. So you guys, again, Noushky Fabius didn't just create a business; she created a movement. Through Pretty Pâté, she's bringing West Indian flavors to new audiences, challenging the way Caribbean cuisine is marketed, and providing that authenticity and innovation um, through her story. Now, she is a testament to the power of reinvention, showing that sometimes the most unexpected paths lead to the greatest success. As she continues to build her brand, Noushky remains committed to her mission, making Caribbean food a household staple while prioritizing joy, balance, and cultural pride. And until next time, you guys will be back with another featured Black businesswoman. Have a great day.